Hey everyone, it's Peggy McColl. It is just a few seconds before the top of the hour. If you're hearing me, we are live on the webinar. This is our open Q&A call where I'm going to be answering any questions. We're still about a minute before we start the call. I just want to let you know that I'm here and I'm ready to start. And also wanted to let you know that if you notice that my voice is not exactly as usual, it is because I have a bit of a sore throat. But my intention is to get through all the questions today. Please forgive my voice. Hopefully you'll still be able to hear all of the answers. I have some wonderful hot tea here. I have some lozenges, and we are good to go. I'll just pop another lozenge. Okay, so the point of our webinar today is for me to address the questions that have been pouring in over the last week. And I actually have about 20 pages of questions. And there is a question box on the screen. You can also type some in there. I'll see if I can get to those as well. This is all being recorded. So if you want to come back over this again and again and again, you can certainly do so. And as you probably already know, we have a new program starting up in January. It's called the BestSeller Moneymakers program. We've created some extraordinary special offers and some bonuses that are only available for today if you're watching this on the 19th. And I want to thank you all for the birthday wishes. It is my birthday today, and I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be other than with my family, of course, and with you answering all of your questions. So I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy to be of service to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right into the questions that have been submitted, and I'm going to start with one that just came in right now, okay? And then I'm going to go to the ones that came in last week. This question is from Rawin, and Rawin says, how do I get over procrastination and develop the discipline to become a dedicated writer? I still have some fear from the page, and pushing myself to start writing is laborious. Okay, wonderful. Now, I don't know if any of you others that are on the call that are either watching this or listening live have ever had that situation, but I will tell you that that is pretty common. I remember when I decided to write my first book, I actually procrastinated for several months before I actually sat down and got to work. And what I did was, to get over the procrastination, is I set a deadline for when I would get it done. And I created a schedule for when I would actually do my writing that didn't interfere with the time that I would have with my son. And I know for you, Robin, you're a mother, you've got 2 children, and I know how important your family is to you. So what I did was I set a deadline. So I set a deadline for the book to be done in a period of 1 month. And then what I did was Monday through Friday, I would set my alarm, or what Zig Ziglar used to call the opportunity clock. And I would get up a little bit earlier in the morning and I would write. So I'd set my clock for 5:30 and I'd get up and I'd write for about an hour and a half before my son was out of bed. And I found that doing that, I got the book done within a period of a month. You see, what a lot of people find, or they think, is that it takes a lot longer to get their book done, and it doesn't. Also, how we view things and how we think about things will have an impact in our approach to it. If you believe it's laborious, it will be laborious. If you don't believe it's going to be laborious and you look at the project as being fun, you'll have a totally different experience. So my recommendation is to look at it as being a lot of fun and schedule the time, and you're going to have a lot more fun with that experience. Okay, so we're started. We're rolling with the questions. This is great. I have a question here from Karen. Karen says, what is your advice to someone who will be launching their first book in February? So Karen, I assume you mean February 2017. And if that's the case, you need to learn how to market now if you don't already know how to market your book. Now, fortunately, Karen, my Bestseller Moneymakers program, you get access to, and it starts on January 12th at 12 noon Eastern with live classes. However, for those that are really eager and ready to get into it now, I'm giving you access to the most recent program. So you can go through all of the modules. We're entering a great time of year, probably a time when you can invest some time in really studying this, and you can start right away. So Karen, and anyone else that's looking to market a book in the new year, learn how to do the marketing now. All right, Julie has a question. Julie says, I have come up with an idea for a children's book, which I can see becoming an animated movie. Children's toys and merchandise. I see $1 billion empire. Publishers advise to brand under the name of the author as a general rule, but I see the name of the book being the brand. Can you advise? Well, first of all, Julie, I love that you see it as $1 billion empire. I mean, all creation starts first in the creator, right? In the mind of the person that is creating it. You must see it first, believe it, and you will achieve it. Now, publishers may or may not be advising on a general rule that the book be the name of the brand. And Harry Potter is a brand that we all recognize, but so is J.K. Rowling. And she happens to be the first author that actually created $1 billion empire. So I would say it really depends. We think of Goosebumps books. They were branded as Goosebumps, and the author became famous as well. But I would say that where it typically does begin is, as you had mentioned, is with the brand of the books. Okay, Elijah has a question. Elijah's question is, how can one become a best-selling author on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Kobo, iBookstore, and Smashwords? Well, you have to sell a lot of books, obviously. But what I teach is a technique that you can become a bestseller in Amazon, Amazon.com, Kobo as well. And it involves a strategy, a specific marketing strategy that you launch and follow. And it's all designed around a particular period of time in order for you to get sales and have your book rise up the charts to the top of the list. So the answer to your question is following a proven strategy to sell books in a dedicated or designated period of time to sell lots of books and make your book a bestseller on many different channels. All right. Anya says, and I believe that she's asking the question about the Bestseller Moneymakers course. And the question is, are there only recorded webinars? Is there a possibility to ask questions? And if so, how and who will answer them? Is the course only suitable for people in the English-speaking countries? I'm in Germany. I'm not sure if the surroundings are much different in the US. Okay, well, I don't live in the US. I live in Canada. I've worked with authors from everywhere, including Germany. And so the program's for anybody, no matter where you are, if you're connected to the internet. And English doesn't have to be your first language. The classes are live. They start on the 12th of January at 12 Eastern, and I record them all as well. And I answer all questions during the live classes. Okay, so I'm the one answering the questions, not somebody else. So I answer your questions. The classes are live. They will be recorded, and you can get access to the recordings after the class. Okay, thank you. Okay, Carolina says, thank you for all you're doing to help people make their dreams come true. You're welcome. I want so much to write a book, and yes, I know this is only 5% of the work, but this is my problem. I'm very bad with marketing and online stuff. For me, Facebook and Instagram, etc., are nightmares, and I cannot use them to bring myself further. This is why I wanted to ask you if you are doing one-to-one coaching, because in the program, many things you present to people are for sure obvious for everyone. But for me, as long as there will be something connected with internet, blog, mailing lists, etc., it will be a huge problem. Okay, great question. If you think it's a problem, it's a problem. It's like Henry Ford said, if you think you can't, you think you can't, you're right. So I would change the way you look at things. If you think all of this is a problem, it's going to continue to be a problem. And I say that with only loving intention. You must recognize and know that when you see things as being easy, I wrote a book called Darn Easy. Work half as hard or twice as much while living the life of your dreams. And none of it has to be hard. None of it has to be difficult. You get to decide if it is or not. okay? So I show you how to do the marketing, and I show you in the program. One-on-one mentoring is available. It is on my website. You'll find a link for one-on-one mentoring. If that's something you're interested in, just email me and let me know. And as soon as the next spot is available, I will let you know when you can get signed up. Okay. Just want to let you know that what I'm doing is I'm answering the questions that have been submitted over the last week. And as I said, I have about 20 pages, and I see more and more questions are coming in. So I'm going to do my best to answer as many as I can. Okay? All right, let's get back to our questions here. Eve says, listening to you confirms that I do have a book in me. However, since English is not my first language, I need a ghostwriter with some wit. I had and have a very interesting life I want to share and encourage every woman to pursue what rings true for them. My question is, I need a ghostwriter since English is not my first language. To translate humor is difficult in a foreign language. What is the reasonable price for a ghostwriter? I met a woman writer at a webinar that I connect with. She tickles my funny bone. Okay, great question, Eve. What's a reasonable price for a ghostwriter? Well, I've paid ghostwriters anywhere between $15,000 and $25,000. I'd say that's reasonable. However, not everybody needs a ghostwriter. Sometimes you can write the book and hire an editor. Okay, you get a good editor. An editor can actually take your work and make it great. So you may not need to spend the money on a really good or on a ghostwriter. You may just need an editor. Okay, Joe asks the question here. He says, I'm finished writing and I have began to edit my book and get feedback from a few people. I am making changes based on feedback I have gotten. Hold on one second, I'm just going to cough. See, can I mute my line? I'll take my mic off so you don't hear me coughing. All right, my apologies for my voice. As you can see, I'm voice challenged today. And I'm going to do my absolute very best to get these questions answered. Got some hot tea. I have some lozenges. I'm going to get through it. It's a little bit of a struggle. Oh, what if I didn't see it as a struggle? Maybe I should take some of my own advice. Okay, back to Joe's question. Okay, I am finished writing and I've begun to edit my book and get feedback from a few people. I'm making changes on the feedback I've gotten and want to know what are the most important things I can be doing first to get my marketing off to the right foot. I've created a website and have not started to compile an email list and make connections with influencers in the industry I'm writing about. I just need to know what are the most important steps to getting things going in the right direction and get there fast. Love that question, Joe. And the answer to your question is you are doing the absolute best things that you can be doing. Start to build an email list and start to make connections with influencers. You are absolutely investing the right time doing the right things. Natalie says, hi, Peggy, your words really touched my soul. So much I called my 16-year-old stepdaughter into the room to watch the webinar with me because she has told me how badly she wants to become an author. We live in the Barbados, and thanks to you, I feel like being on an island does not limit us. You're right. It is our belief that limits us. You are absolutely right, Natalie. My question to you is, if presently we can't afford to register in your amazing course, please tell me if there's another opportunity in the future to get with the great Peggy McColl. Okay, great. If you think you don't have the money, you won't have the money. Mindset is part of wealth consciousness. I would suggest that you register for my morning money classes, morningmoneyclasses.com, because it'll help you put you in the financial prosperity mindset and attract the money that you require. My friend and mentor, Bob Proctor, says, money is never the issue if you want something. If you really want it, you're going to find a way. Dear Peggy, I will be traveling for about a month of the 12-week period in parts of the world with no or very limited internet access. Would it be better to wait and do the bestseller money program next time you offer it? Or can I just pause for that month and then continue when I get back to civilization? Absolutely. And you know what else you can do? You can save the recordings from the classes. I give you MP3 files. And you could access the entire program that I just delivered when you register now. So while you're away for that month, you'll be able to save all the content. I even give you my PowerPoint presentations, and you'll be able to go through it while you're away. Okay? All right, great stuff. These are great questions, by the way. Thank you so much for asking. Tarina says, I am not having a response when I submit emails to a few high-profile people to get a review or forward for my book. I know they get lots of emails. How do you suggest I go about this? I have it on my vision board. How do I know I should be patient or get another person? Well, that's a great question. I would say, I got to take this earring off. It's squishing my ear. I would say that, sometimes the person that you think you want to write the forward may not be the person that's going to write your forward. You may want to try somebody else. It is influential to have somebody write the forward, but it's not going to make or break the success of your book. So you may want to try somebody else, or stick to your vision, see it as already being done, and find another way to reach them. Maybe go through social media, maybe go through snail mail, maybe go to a live event when they're there and reach out to them that way. All right, can you help me if my book is written in Spanish? As long as you speak English, yes. My course is in English, and I teach about marketing. My name is Riki Davies from the UK. I followed your YouTube videos, and I watched on Bob Proctor's Paradigm Shift. I love all that you do and would like to ask you a specific question. I have written a book called Love Life, Eat Well, and self-published on Amazon as an ebook. Also, I run workshops on healthy eating once a month for members of the public, demonstrating what to eat and how to prepare it to achieve optimum health. I order around 50 paper books every so often to add to the goodie bags as part of the package. My book is quite expensive to produce due to the color of the recipe photos. I would like to be in a position to become well known and sell my book worldwide. However, I need some help and directions and contacts. I'm following Bob Proctor's Paradigm Shift exercise every day, 10 gratitudes every morning. I feel very positive that I am not far away from succeeding. I hope you can write back and shed some light on what I should do next and how. Okay, so first thing is, thank you for writing and thank you for asking. There's a lot of ways that you can create revenue from your area of expertise that are not only your book. You could create programs. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that we just threw in as a bonus today is to get your program done and get your program launched. There were 2 separate programs that we sold, me and Trace Haskins, who's a business partner. And we launched these programs. They were $9.97 each, $2,000, or you could buy them combined for $1,500. We're throwing them into the Bestseller Moneymakers program today. So this is where big money is made. It's not only the books where you can make money. Where a lot of the money can be made is in programs that you extend beyond the book or extend beyond your area of knowledge or your area of expertise. So I would suggest that you create multiple sources of income or another source of income and focus on marketing your books, which is also what I'm teaching in the Bestseller Moneymakers course. Okay, Martika says, how much time and money spent apart from this program will it take to make my book a bestseller? The process map looks complicated. Will you be guiding us through it? All right, I'm just laughing because it's neither complicated or uncomplicated. It just is. It's been fun giving that out and seeing the wonderful responses that are coming back. And it's a wealth of knowledge for sure. And it's something that when you understand it, it's like a gold mine, right? And absolutely, I'm going to be walking you through it. I'm going to be walking you through what the steps are, what the most important steps are, and what you can be doing to create great success. But how much time and money spent is going to be up to you, and it depends on who you use as sources. I like to suggest that you don't spend a lot of money. I'll give you ideas on things you can do yourself. You may spend some money on book cover design if that's something you're looking to do. Editing, if that's something that you're requiring. and maybe some web work if that's a requirement that you have. But I also teach people on how to create revenue and invest it back in your business. And I give you my resources. I make recommendations on people that I use that I know can help you. But the time part is really, again, up to you. When I started marketing my books, I was marketing them part-time. It wasn't my full-time work. It was a part-time work that I was doing. Now the work that I do is full-time, from my programs, from my live events, from my coaching, and from whatever books that I'm working on as well. And so now it's full-time work, but when I started, it wasn't. Later. Hold on one second. All right. Let me get some water. I'm going to be with you guys. Don't give up on me. I'm not giving up on you. Okay. Elena says, first of all, congratulations. Your work looks amazing. I live in Spain, and my first language is Spanish. I've started to write a book on spirituality, but it's in Spanish. Would this program make sense to me? Also, how does the program match with the live event in Florida? Are they independent? Are they the same thing? Should we attend or follow both? What's really included in the retreat? Entrance only or accommodations, meals? What is the estimated weekly time to be dedicated to the programs? Okay, so as long as you speak English, yeah, the program will work for you, and it'll work for you to market your book in any language. I've worked with Spanish authors before. I'm trying to remember the name of a Spanish author who took my program. Garcia is his last name. I can't remember his first name right now. And the Total Author Immersion event, which I'm throwing in as a bonus for the Bestseller Moneymakers program, is a 2.5-day live event in Sarasota, Florida. It's a live event. It's very different. I'm going to have you do exercises right there in the class. I shouldn't say it's very different. It is different. So it's a huge bonus for anyone who signs up for the Bestseller Moneymaker program. So it's very complimentary to what we'll be doing in the live events that we're doing online every 12 weeks. Do you have to go to that? No, you don't have to go to that. But if you're going to come, we'd love to have you there. It includes entrance to the event and includes your meals on the Tuesday and the Monday and the Tuesday. And the live classes are about 1 hour to 90 minutes every Thursday. Okay. Sorry, I'm laughing. Mick Peterson's on the call. He's just a wonderful, dear friend of mine, someone I love so much. And he just typed this in. He says, Peggy, thank you for doing this call. Testimonial for those, all those out there asking questions about how to market books and build businesses around them. Peggy is my go-to gal for all things book and internet marketing. I've had the pleasure of working with her for the past 2.5 years and have watched her closely during that time. Honestly, she knows the stuff inside and out. I've seen her guide me and many colleagues to great success, and she's always there. Thanks, Mick. I didn't know he was going to do that, guys. So I just want to thank you, Mick, for being here. You know, I love and appreciate Mick, and he's the author of Stella and the Timekeepers, and you've heard me talk about him in the other webinars, and I'll be talking about him in the class as well. An exceptional guy. You know, one of the things that I find I'm blessed with is that I attract the most amazing clients into my life, and I love helping people succeed. I mean, you're hearing my voice today, right? I was up all night coughing. Like I was just caught for 2 nights, actually. I hardly have any voice. And I had a lot of people say to me, oh, you need to cancel that webinar. You need to cancel that webinar. I was like, no way I'm canceling that webinar. These people are relying on me. I am here to serve. Okay, so I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to be here to serve you guys in every way that I possibly can. Thank you for that, Mick. I really appreciate you. Okay, let's get back to our questions here. These questions are awesome, by the way. They're so good. Okay, Sheb has a question. How do you create capital with no capital in order to get your business started and rolling? Well, I started my business with a loan, actually, and I think a lot of people do that. And so that's one way. Borrow money if you need to get your business going. or start selling something so you can make some money. But quite often people start their business from getting a loan. Kat says, Dear Peggy, I manifested my goal when my energy reached a certain point. But now I can't reach to that point by watching video or imaging or other ways. And I always have very bad stress about what others think and feel it in my stomach. And I can't stop it. And I had a belief in hardworking and it takes time for earning money. Please help me. What should I do? Change your beliefs. Your beliefs are hurting you. They're holding you back. You know, I remember one time Bob Proctor saying to me, you're the only one standing in your way. It's true. You're the only one standing in your way. Stop having stress. You're in control of your emotions. Stop believing it's hard. You can stop it. And I would suggest you stop it now. What you need to do is create a new vision for you and your life. Write a script. Write a power life script. What you want your life to be like. Record it. Listen to it every single day. It'll change your belief systems. It's only through space-time repetition of new beliefs that you'll change your paradigms and change your belief systems. So I highly recommend that you do that. That's exactly what I did to change mine. All right. Let's pour myself some more tea, and I'm going to get to the next question. It's from Redhesh. I'm not sure how to say the name, and I apologize if I'm making a mess out of your name. Hello, ma'am. I'm a chemical engineering student and aspire to be an entrepreneur. Can you suggest some ideas for a startup? I have an idea, but it seems difficult to get to it. I believe in the law of attraction. I need to shift my paradigm. Thank you in advance for any advice that you'll give me. You know, here's the wonderful thing. As I'm answering one question, I'm answering another question, okay? So create the vision for what you want your life to be like, record it, and share it. Now, Radesh, what I suggest is that get a mentor. That's one of the things I did very early in the game. I was 19, I started studying, Bob Proctor and doing everything he suggested. And I was buying books, buying programs, studying them, listening to audios. I became an absolute addict in a very loving way of all these materials. So I love that you see yourself as an entrepreneur. So get into it, study, follow through, and you're going to create some great success. Trace, I just want to acknowledge you for your email. I just saw your email coming through. I love it. Great. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. Okay. All right, here we go. Caroline, first of all, thank you for all your ideas and strength that you give. I live in France and my husband works in the music industry. I'm wondering if the marketing strategy that you use would also be working for the release of a music album. Heck yeah, absolutely. I love that you asked that question, Caroline, for sure. Okay, here's a name I have no idea how to say, so I apologize if I'm not saying this name properly. Uday Suri sounds like a pretty name, well, unless it's a guy. Anyways, nice name. I wrote a book on living in Aranakala, which is a holy mountain and sacred place in South India. The town of Tiruvannamalai is known for its sage Ramana Maharishi the world over. Though well known, the number of visitors is relatively small. Though I self-published my book with Lulu and talked to people about individually, I have made only one glorious sale so far. Okay, I know I'm lacking promotion and the book is not a priority on my list. Sometimes I think, okay, it was a nice writing exercise and certainly nothing wrong with it. I wonder if their niche is too small, or perhaps I need to get an editor who give it a new twist or upper to make it really attractive. What are your thoughts on this? You know, how's it written? Is it written as a story? And if not, you might want to write it that way. The fact that it's written about a place that's very small shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter whatsoever. I suspect what the challenge here is simply marketing. Just get into marketing, learn how to market, then you'll be able to make that book a big success. You know, it's like my friend Bob Proctor says, you could write a crappy book and make it a big success. Okay, so I suggest get into the Bestseller Moneymakers program and do it today because we're giving away all these incredible bonuses as well. All right, hi Peggy. My method of writing short stories and my novels is that I immerse in or more precisely, submerge in the story and the world in my mind, which can take a few minutes before I start. I sort of become part of the fictitious world I create that lingers inside me. I've got a planning, sketches, and outlines, of course, as well as the key theme, characters, and so on, an outline before that. And I really have to shut out any disturbance during this journey, as I am then quite vulnerable from the outside. Now, the difficulty arises once I have to jump out of the process and leave it cooling. For example, going to the ugly call center job. How did you manage to get back in the same feeling and scene? For me, it takes at least an hour to harness all ideas, story threads, and characters. I warmly welcome your advice. Big hug and love, Jan. Jan, I love that. You know what? Sometimes it might take an hour. What I did was I forced myself to just stay in the chair and allowed myself to relax, sometimes doing some breathing techniques, and like you, shutting off all other noise so that I could just focus on what I want and just work with my imagination, which is a mental faculty that we all have, tapping into that, and bam, I got right back into it and started to create. So you're definitely on the right track. Okay, May has some questions. I have several questions, she says. One, I know my personal questions in email you said that is applicable for someone who doesn't write in English. English is my second language. It's a real challenge for me to write in English. If students who have similar background like mine became a bestseller. Yeah, many. You know, I sent an email to somebody the other day with a list of just a few that came off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find that email so I can tell you who they are. Okay, so, oh darn. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Okay, oh darn, I wonder where it is. Oh, maybe it's down here. Oh, okay. All right, I can't find it. Anyways, I got a list of authors that have done books in English isn't their first language. I have an author from Sweden, Christina Skite, although her English is pretty darn good. P.Z. Ling, she's from Cambodia originally, she lives in New Zealand. Julie Wang Ringnes, she's from Norway. Oh my goodness, I just have so many, I can't even remember them all, but absolutely, I have authors all over the world that don't speak English, it's not their first language, that have become bestsellers. Okay, asking about media. I do talk about media in the course, but media you're going to find is not a priority item that you should be focusing on. And media is something that you can do right from the comfort of your home as well. You can do radio, you can do internet media. So I'll talk about that in the program. Okay, it says in 12 weeks, you'll guide me in the course. Are you guiding me personally? Will I have Q&A session? Yeah, everybody has Q&A sessions. So when I teach the classes, you're all on the class together. It's a group. I'm the one that's helping you. It's not somebody else. I'm going to answer all your questions in the open Q&A in our class. Thanks, May. Okay, next question is from, let's see, who is it? Oh, boy. I think I'm going to leave that one. The person wrote me a book. Okay, Olga. Okay, first of all, I must say you are an inspiration. Thank you, Olga. My name is Olga. I am based in Dubai. I started writing my book after listening to you and Bob Proctor. You see, I attended last 3 live streams with Bob Proctor and Sandy. Your presentations were brilliant. Highlight of the seminars. Well, thank you, Olga. My terror berry at the moment is how to get the money to sign up for your program. Do you offer any payment plans? Yes, I sure do. There's a payment plan right on the Bestseller Moneymaker program. And see yourself in the program, see yourself with the money, and you'll make it happen. My question is, do we have a chance to connect with you one-on-one? Absolutely. I'm doing the classes live. I'm going to be on there, and I'll ask you all, or answer all the questions you have during our classes. Okay, here's another question from Olga. I have a desire to write a book and share my knowledge. However, I doubt myself. I know about everything in the area I want to write about. I don't have credential. I don't have graduated from university. How do you motivate yourself to be your best cheerleader? You know, I don't know if you've been on the call from the beginning or not, but one of the things I suggest is write yourself a script where you're talking to yourself, talking about how wonderful you are, how valuable your ideas are, how valuable your books are bestsellers, and record it and listen to it every single day. That's what I did. And I totally relate to you not believing in yourself, because I didn't believe in myself. I don't have a university education. I graduated from high school. Okay, so you create that belief system within yourself by affirming and affirming over and over again. Okay, we got another long one here. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay. I don't know if I could get through reading this whole thing. Okay, this one's from Grace. And Grace, I had replied to your email when I saw your question come in. I'm not going to read the entire email to everybody because this is actually, it's a long one. It's also related to what the previous question was. It's really about believing in yourself and believing in your materials. Who's ever going to read your book? Like, I'm not good enough, all of that stuff. So for those of you that have a similar question or even a similar belief, just let me stop for a moment. I really want to talk to you and talk to your heart. Listen, I had those issues too. I apologize for coughing. Hold on, need another lozenge. And maybe a drink of tea. Listen, I had those issues as well. I was writing my first book. I didn't have the support from others. But an exercise, a practice that I got into many, many years ago is writing a script of my life. I call it a power life script. Me talking to me. I write it. It's all very positive. It's very uplifting. I talk about my books. I talk about the success of my books. I talk about my business. I talk about my income. I talk about the people that I'm serving in the world. I talk about my relationships, everything, every aspect of my life that's important, including my health. Everything in my life is in my script. I started doing this in the 90s. I've been doing it for 20 years. And I record it and I listen to it every day. It's on my iPhone. I have my iPhone with me all the time. I get in my car, I start my car, and my script starts to play. I go to bed at night and I listen to my script. I'm getting ready in the morning and I'm listening to my script. It will help you change your paradigms, your belief systems. So approach this, even though you might have some beliefs that are holding you back. You got to know that you got that power within you to do amazing things. This opportunity that's out there in the world is available for you. It's available for anyone. I have generated millions of dollars doing work that's deeply meaningful from the comfort of my home. And you can too. I don't have a high school education, or I have a high school, don't have a university education. I didn't have any business background. My parents were not entrepreneurs. My father was a janitor before he ended up quitting his job. My mother was a checkout clerk in a grocery store. Before that, she worked in a factory, right? I was raised in a tiny, tiny home. We were poor. I wouldn't even call us middle class. I'd say we were poor. Anybody can create success. You got to know it and believe it. Now, I don't do what I do because it brings me money. It's not about the money. You shouldn't be doing what you're doing because it brings you money. You should be doing what you're doing because you want to help people, because you want to make a difference in the world, because you want to take your passion and bring it to the world, whether you're a fiction writer, children's book writer, cookbook writer, whatever it is that you're doing. And yes, I work with every kind of author. Yes, I work with people all over the world. All right, so my suggestion is, not only do I help people in the marketing process of making their books and making their businesses hugely and wildly successful, I help you with this part too. Because if you don't have it in your mind, if you don't feel it in your heart, you're going to struggle. So I want to stop the struggle. Nobody should be struggling. Everybody has an opportunity to do really well in this world. Now, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a commitment. It's going to take an investment. But I'll tell you, when you make the investment, you're going to be glad you did, because you're going to get great results. Okay, let's get back to our questions. Okay, Jean. As a result of your training and attending the paradigm shift, I've decided that, she says 01/16/16. I think you mean 17, right? To write my first book. My question is, while I have a somewhat general topic, how do I hone it to a more specific, selective, compelling one? I'm 86 years old and love life. My topic is about continuing to shine as we age, to live in possibility. That's a phenomenal idea, Jean. I love that you're 86 years young and you're ready to write your book. This is a legacy that's going to live long after you leave the earthly plane, as my books will. So you could do a book just on shining, not just on, I should say just on. You could do a book on shining as we age, living in possibility. That could be the book title, Shine as We Age, a book on living in possibility. I love that. Excellent idea. And thank you for the happy birthday message. I appreciate that. Lita says, I'd love to know your average daily routine. Okay, average daily routine. Oh, hold on one second. I'm going to tell you that in a second. I just want to go up here. Okay. My average daily routine, from writing in your gratitude journal to fitting in exercise. Okay, Lita. Well, first thing I do when I wake up is I start to think about what I'm grateful for and get excited about the new day, and I grab my gratitude journal. I start writing my gratitude journal. I do my affirmations. I spend the first few minutes studying before I even get out of bed. And then while I'm getting ready, I'm listening to my life script, which is me talking to me. And then I'm doing a little bit more studying and some work. And then I get on with my work. Now, I've usually organized my day the night before, which I'll do every day. I'm extremely organized. I create accomplishment lists. I'll talk about this in the program as well. I stick to my list of accomplishments. Exercise is something that I don't really, do a lot. I'll go walking, right? So I can listen to my script. I do walking. Sometimes I'll, I'd say walking is probably the biggest thing that I do. Okay, Yolanda, tell me how to find a ghostwriter who can take my ideas and, she didn't finish her sentence. Okay. Well, I can recommend some ghostwriters for you, but you might not need a ghostwriter. Editor is where I recommend that people think, unless you want a ghostwriter and you're ready to part with the money. All right, because ghostwriters are anywhere between, I don't know, they're all range of prices. I've paid anywhere between $15,000 and $25,000 for a ghostwriter. Mandy says, how does the mentoring work if I'm in the UK? Well, people are all over the world. I mentor people every part of the globe. It's all done online. Okay, asking for help. I have a lot of questions when I'm learning. Will you answer them all? If you're on the classes, yes. Unless you're my one-on-one student, if you're in one-on-one mentoring, I will answer your questions during our scheduled calls. I'm excited and nervous. Who was your biggest success? My biggest success? I've got so many successes I don't even know. Go to Bestseller Moneymakers and you'll see a lot of successes on that page. You said that when you want to write a book, people get behind you. I've not found that to be entirely true. Friends and family haven't been as supportive as I had hoped. Can you help us over this type of emotion block, self-belief hurdles? Absolutely. It's not necessarily your family and friends that are going to be the ones that will help you. I'd say in the beginning, most of the people that helped me were complete strangers that I didn't know. Can make me feel, why do I keep going or even bother? Don't get me wrong, I won't stop. I guess I'm asking, will I get encouragement and support? Absolutely, you'll get encouragement and support. I believe in my clients. I love them. I want to take care of them. I want you to be successful. So if you're in the program, I'm going to help you during each and every live class. Okay, Francis. Hi, Peggy. I have 3 book ideas rolling in my head, and I've begun all 3. One is a cookbook, but I'm not sure which one to move forward with first. The cookbook idea was my first original idea. Is it crazy to have this many ideas going on at once? Francis, no, that's not crazy. I've had multiple book ideas going on at the same time. I was actually writing 2 books at once. They were released within months of each other. And to answer your question, which book should you move on first? The one that you feel most passionate about. That's what I would recommend. Okay. I'm smiling at all the nice comments that are written as well. Anna. Okay. What a blessing you are, offering another webinar. It's only 3 weeks ago that I had my aha moment. Okay, in August I enrolled with a business and therefore was looking to transform my self-image, as I knew deep down my soul that first and foremost I needed to change my paradigms in order to be a successful entrepreneur. Yes. Hence, I signed up for Bob Proctor coaching. Good for you. But I found how many scars were holding me back to really excel to have a life purpose. When I hit rock bottom, I talked to a friend who shared that either I was going to look at the negative situations that I had gone through or to grow and let my soul expand. Great advice. That was the moment I decided to write a book about my life and how we as humans need the connection with God, the one God who created me. I love that. This is awesome. My audience is geared towards people looking for a new perspective on how to see God with the eyes of the heart, and to empower young girls that are suffering or have suffered from abuse, sexual, mental, or physical. My burning desire is to have an international bestseller by June 30th, 2017. I know that I can achieve my goal of writing my book. My question to you is this. Since you're in the field, do you think I have an audience? You have the biggest audience on the planet. Spirituality books, books about God are the biggest selling genre there is. By the way, since declaring my goal and repeating my affirmation daily, I've inspired my 2 beautiful children to also write a book that they have titled In God's Image. I want to support them in their adventure to become bestseller at age 7 and 9. Do you have clients that young? Have you worked with children? Absolutely, I've worked with children. And I love it. So you register and study with them, okay? I love that, Anna. That's great. Okay. All right. Now I'm just still going through all the questions that have come through within the last week. And once I finish that, then I'm going to go to the questions that have been floating in since I started this webinar. So if you've asked a question, I'm going to answer it, okay? Now, there might be some questions that I'm not answering because they were asked like several times. And if you just got on the call and you're a little late getting here, I may have asked your question in the beginning part of the call, so you can check out the recording as well. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to answer all the questions until we get to the end, okay? Thanks for being here with me, guys. I really appreciate you. Oh, by the way, I just want to mention, head over to Bestseller Moneymakers. There's a link actually at the bottom. Just go on down there. And we've added a couple extra bonuses today. I'm going to give you access to the most recent class that I just delivered if you want to get started over the holidays. And then we're going to have live classes that you're going to have access to me in every one of them starting on the 12th of January. And I'm going to talk to you about how to make money, how to create sources of revenue as well. And just until, I think that today we're ending it, 1 ticket to the Total Author Immersion event that's in Sarasota, Florida. It's a live event for 2.5 days. That event alone is $4,250 US. Okay, you can go and check out the page if you don't believe me. I'm telling you the truth. And then we're giving you access to get your program done, get your program launched. All right, phenomenal value. We've never done this before, never, ever, ever, ever. But you can get it when you register right now. Okay, now if you're on the call and you've registered for the program already, I'll give you those bonuses too, because I know there's some people that are on the call that have already registered. Just want to let you know. Okay, back to my questions. Okay, Carolyn says, how do you go about self-publishing? Well, I go through all of that in the first module of the Bestseller Moneymakers program. There's an entire class that's just devoted to that, 2 classes in fact, because there's a lot to it. But self-publishing, just give you in a nutshell here, you can either self-publish through what's called a vanity publisher. My sister has a vanity publisher. It's called hasmarkpublishing.com, HASMARK, hasmarkpublishing.com. They will help you get your book published, self-published. I'll teach you how to, write the book, how to complete the book, how to get endorsements and all that. It's my sister's company though. They can help you with that. Or you could use Create Space. But I highly recommend my sister company. They offer a great service. Milagro says, how do I find support for technology problems I may encounter? Love that question. I would say get somebody who can help you with that. I have Trace Haskins, who's on my team. He's wonderful. He helps me. I also have Colin Miller, who helps me with some of my technical issues. And other than that, I don't really have any other technology problems. And maybe Apple. And if I'm using my Apple products, I'll call Apple. But get somebody on your team that you can call on. Okay. Eric is asking a question here. You have some very inspiring webinars by Bob Proctor. Like it a lot. Personally, I have one book to be translated into U.S. English from Norwegian and some mental training concepts to be published. In addition, I have 2 book concepts on the drawing board. How can you help me publish them? Best Eric. Okay, remember, 5% of an author's responsibility is getting your book done. 95% is the marketing. I'll help you with both aspects, but you got to know that marketing is most important. So how can I help you? Bestseller Moneymakers. Get in the program. I'll help you in the program. Pashmina says, what is your best advice for trying to get people to endorse new authors? How do authors market themselves in a gracious way without looking needy? That is a very important question, and Pashmina is actually in the new Bestseller Moneymaker program, and I'm going to be talking about those things, Pashmina. I actually do a class on how to get endorsements and also how to not look needy. You see, everything that we communicate to the world comes from emotion, comes from energy. If you're somebody who's needy or desperate, or you think that you're inferior and other people are superior, it will come through. So I talk to people, I teach my clients how to actually get the right mental attitude, how to get the belief system in their heart so that they believe in themselves and they're not those needy, they don't express the need, that neediness, and to communicate in a way that is strong, powerful, and confident, and will get the results that you're looking for. I love that you asked that question. Okay, so there's a few more questions here that I'm going to get to right now. This is fun. Are you guys having fun? Okay, I'm not sure how to say this name, so I apologize if I'm not saying it properly. It looks like the name is Ignatius. That's a fascinating name. Okay, what will I get in the package if I sign up? Okay, go to bestsellermoneymakers.com. Let me just go here now. And I'm just gonna, I think I can share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna talk about this right now. Let me go to the place where I can share my screen. And it's right up here. Screen share, desktop, start. All right. And we're going over here. There we go. Okay, so if you go to bestsellermoneymakers.com, on this page, you're going to see everything that's included. So I want you to go to this page and really study it, okay? Really study it. You're going to find everything you need to know. The classes are starting on the 12th of January. Okay, they're starting on the 12th of January, and they're going to go for 12 weeks, starting at 12 noon Eastern. All classes will be live, and I'm going to be recording them, okay? So you can go here and you'll see. I get that off my screen. All right, so go to bestsellermoneymakers.com, bestsellermoneymakers.com, and you'll see everything that's included, okay? There we go. We're back. Okay. Thank you, Joe. I just got Joe's message saying happy birthday. Hold on, I need more tea. I can't thank you or express how grateful I am. My throat's holding up through all of this. Okay. All right, great question, Nancy. Nancy says, will your event in Sarasota be streamed live? No, it won't. So Nancy, if you're coming, we'd love to have you there. It's not going to be streamed live. All right, great. I answered that question already. Okay, Lisa asked a question that I answered actually in the beginning of the call. How do you recommend carving off the time and building the discipline to consistently write? I talked about that at the beginning of the call. Maybe you weren't on the beginning of the call, Lisa. But what I suggest is set a deadline for when you're going to get your book written and then block off time in your agenda. What I did when I wrote my first book is I blocked off time early in the morning. I'd get up at 5:30 in the morning and I would start to write. Other things that I've done is I've blocked off weekends, or I'll block off hours in my agenda where I'm dedicated and devoted to just write. And so if it's in my agenda, if it's in your calendar, you're very likely to do it. If you have a deadline, excuse me, you're also very likely to do it. There's a quote that I heard many years ago that goes like this: work will expand to the time allotted. So you set a deadline, you're going to get the work done. Okay? Thank you. Perfect. All right, Kathy says, I have an idea for a book, but I have no idea how to get my thoughts on paper and organized. Is there a system you use to help one do this? I hope you have a really great birthday. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, there is a system that I have, and it's in the Bestseller Moneymakers, because the Bestseller Moneymaker program, the first 7 module or first 7 webinars in module 1 is about how to write that book. So I talk about multiple ways of writing the book, because there's more than one way other than just sitting down and writing. So yeah, I have several different ways to write that book, and I do cover it all in the program. Okay, Clara. All right, Clara says, I want to do a huge relaunch of my book. I totally bombed the first time around. Is this program for me? Yeah, absolutely, Clara. I love that. And you know what? You can launch a book, relaunch a book. A book could have been sitting around for years. You can dust it off, bring it back out, launch it. So yeah, absolutely. Doesn't matter if your book's not written, or if your book's written, or if your book was written years ago. And what I teach works for you and every other author. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, Arto says, just barely discovered Bob Proctor and listened to your presentation with him. Never written a book, but like the idea. Can you look at a topic or an idea of what I would like to write and give me your honest opinion if it might sell? Well, ask me now. This is where you get access. I'm not available generally to the public. I'm either teaching webinars, teaching classes, working with my clients. I do look at my client stuff that are in the one-on-one mentoring. That's where I give more detail. You can ask questions in the classes in the Bestseller Moneymakers. That's how you get access to me. And if you're still on the call, Arto, tell me right now. Fill in that little question box there, and I'll stay on the call until I see what you're thinking of writing about, okay? But let me also answer that question a little bit more detail. Sometimes authors ask that question. They think that there's not an audience for their book. And here's a great way to really answer that question. If you think there would be a need for somebody for that book idea, there's probably a need in the world. Hold on. I wrote my first book because I wanted to help people understand in layman's terms how they are creative and destructive in their life. So I knew there was a need because I had the need. And quite often that's where authors start. They had the need, so they decide to write it themselves. Okay, so if you have the need, very likely somebody else has the need as well. Okay. Best ways to organize the book before the writing process, says Mylene, or asks Mylene. The best way is to think logical format, to create an outline, to organize it in a flow that would make sense to the reader, and to put bullet points in of what you would cover in each section. That's the best way to get started. Okay, when I organized my first book, I simply started with, well, I want to talk about my own journey. And then I got into what would make sense for the reader to understand in the book. Another way is to look, and I go through this in my class, by the way, is to look at other books, look at their flow and their design, and use them as models. Okay, I do teach all of this, by the way. All right, so Rohini says, happy birthday. I'd love to join your program. I've already written my book, which has gone on Amazon. However, I have health issues and will be going in for major surgery in March. Will the program be available in April for me to join in? Well, you know what? The program will be available now and until you're ready to use it. So I would suggest get started now, and then it'll remain available online for you even after April. So I'll keep it up. I'll keep all the classes up. So even after the classes have ended, it will still be available for you. So I suggest join now. I don't know when the next program is. I do not have another date set. So I suggest get in now. Good. Okay, Tawana says, I launched my first self-published romance book the beginning of November and took pre-orders to help with cost. I recently hit 100 books sold mark. I'm definitely looking for other marketing strategies. I love that. Congratulations on selling 100 books already. That's fabulous. And I can show you some other strategies. All right, great. Thank you, MC. MC left a message, and it wasn't a question, so thank you very much. Okay, great. All right, I feel that this could be a great program for me and help me with my goal of becoming a bestseller author. Goals to help people. Okay, great. My dilemma is that I have or am an expert in commercial real estate, but my goal is to help people get their creative mindset back. I love that, Luke. I'm also waiting on money to come in from a project that should be done in the next couple of weeks. IT will not be here for the deadline today. So what would be a good alternative moving forward, as I will miss the deadline of the 19th? Luke, if you could get signed up, use the payment plan that's available on there. And that will get you into the program now, and you'll get the bonuses. Or see if you can, manifest the funds from another source. But if you can, get in here and get the bonuses, and we'd love to have you in the program. I love what you want to do too, by the way. I think it's so important. All right. Okay. Bianca from Cape Town. Hey, Bianca. She says, thank you, Peggy, for being there with us, and greetings from Cape Town. You need a rest. Feeling bad to even ask. No problem. I'm here to serve, Bianca. My question is, what's the best way to connect with influencers? All right, great question. This is such an important question that I really want to, I'm just going to move my little screen here for a second. I want to talk about this for a few minutes, okay? What's the best way to connect with influencers? This is such an important question. And Bianca's from Cape Town, South Africa, and I've been there, by the way, love it. And I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And many of the people that are on this call right now are from other parts of the world, or the ones that are listening to the recording. It doesn't matter where you are, you can create relationships with people from wherever you are. How is using the power of the internet? That's one way. That's one way. You can connect with people through social media. You can connect with people in their programs. Like I've become, I mentioned Mick Peterson earlier. He's become one of my closest friends, and he was a client of mine first. I've established friendships with many people that have been through my programs that I love and appreciate. You get into programs, you establish relationships there. You connect with people online, you establish relationships there. You go to live events, you can establish relationships there. There's multiple ways of establishing relationships. People are so accessible now online. I would say use the internet, get to live events if you can, join organizations as well, and connect with people that way. I know it's just past the top of the hour, but I'm going to keep going, okay? There's a bunch more questions that are coming in here. Oh, thanks, Rick. Thank you for the hugs. Okay. Melissa, would you write my foreword? Who are you? What's your book? I just want to mention the word forward for forward of a book, F-O-R-E-W-O-R-D. That's how it's spelled. Oddly enough, it's the most misspelled word, I think, in the English language or in the author world, that's for sure. Okay, Maggie is saying, would you be willing to send me the process map so I can see what you're referring to? Maggie, it is, let's see. How long have you been on the email with me? Okay, hang on a sec. We've got something here. Let me find it for you. No, that's not what I want. Hang on. That's not it either. Okay, Maggie, I'm going to find it and I'll send it to you, okay? We've got a link. We'll get a link for that process map. I'll send it to you. Maggie, how long have you been in our email list? Because if you're in our email list, we sent out an email on this on Friday. Check the emails from me from Friday if you were subscribed, and if not, no problem. I'll make sure you get it. Actually, let me get it to you right now. I want to make sure Maggie gets this process map because this is a really great tool to use. I think it's here. No, it's not there. Okay, I'm going to have to do it after. Carla. Okay, good. In line with my previous question, I don't live in the US. I speak and write English, or pardon me, French. Well, it must be English. French, Portuguese, Spanish to be improved, and English to be improved. I am a humanitarian aid worker and I live for the moment in Haiti. I'm writing a book, actually 2. I am sure I will succeed, but I want to know how your program you be useful to me once I'm not in the US. I aim to become an international bestseller author. I'm willing to come in person in the US in case there is a workshop. You don't have to live in the US. I'm not in the US. My course is for anybody. It's online. I'm teaching all the classes online, Carla. So as long as you have internet access, you'll be able to access the class. Okay? All right. Oh, good question, Alpa. Alpa's asking the question, is it essential to have a website specifically for the book? Or would you advise to have it marketed through my own website? I'm a consultant with PGI and I coach people. I have my website for coaching, but also want to market my finished book as an ebook too. Well, you can do it either way, actually. I will talk about that. I go over what you need on your website, and you could create a page on your website if you want. So absolutely. Oh, thanks, Trace. Trace is on the call and he just sent me the link for Maggie. You are awesome. Trace, I wonder if we can put it on the Q&A page just in case somebody else wants it. Would that be something we could do? Let's check with Trace. He's watching the broadcast from Austria. Okay, Maggie, I just sent it to you. All right. Okay. All right, so I'll be talking about that, Alpa. You'll be hearing me in the program. Not sure what that is. Okay. Oh, I love that Melissa's asking this question. This is a really good question. Another important one. Melissa says, is it possible to pay someone to do the marketing? This to me is one of the most dangerous questions that I see. Is it possible? Of course, but I don't recommend it. You need to know how to do it yourself. Nobody's going to care more about your book than you. Okay? So I highly recommend you learn how to do the marketing, even if you do get somebody to help you with aspects of it. But I don't know anyone who's really doing the marketing as effectively as the author will do it. The author loves their book usually. Now you may want to hire a service to do some marketing for you. My sister does some marketing for authors, but I suggest you learn as well. All right. Oh, good. Okay, so Rajiv asked a question that was similar to the one Alpa had just asked. Should I make a website too for marketing my book? Excuse me, you don't have to. You don't have to. You could just create a page on your existing website or on a website for your book. So it's not necessary. Thank you. I think that's Chandra. Thank you for the nice message. Mandy says, there's a lot to learn in the strategy chart that you sent out. Whilst you said that you will answer all questions in the weekly sessions, what do we do if there's an unanswered question or get stuck after 12 weeks? Well, it's a great question. First of all, I've been teaching this for years, more than a decade. So I know what the questions are and I teach it in the content. So very likely your questions are going to get answered with the content that I'm teaching. And I will be available for 12 weeks and there'll be questions that are asked that I actually do answer. You will have access to all of the content. So very likely you'll be able to go back and you'll be able to find the class where you'll get your questions answered. Now, if you want more private or personalized attention, you can sign up for one-on-one mentoring. It's sometimes available, not always available, but it is sometimes available. So that might be something that you want to consider. Danielle from the Netherlands, from Holland. I loved your webinar. I watched after Bob advised it. I have a few questions. I missed the first 10 minutes of this webinar, so I'm not sure if the question was asked already. What are the normal costs for an editor? Well, there's not normal costs, okay? Because everybody's writing is different. Everybody's book's different. They're different sizes, so there's no normal cost. I will say that the most I've ever paid for an editor is $1,500, and it's for a book that was about 33,000 words. And I'm not a great writer. I paid editors $500. I paid $800. My sister at Hasmark Publishing has a team of editors, and she'll get the best rates. I actually just completed a book that's 70,000 words. It's the biggest book I've ever done. My cost is $1,100 to edit it. So that might give you an idea. Furthermore, the people sell their book on Amazon via an ebook. Is this with a PDF? It's usually with a Kindle on Amazon, or sometimes people sell a PDF off their own website. Last question. I'm Dutch and I want to write a book this month. You've really inspired me to take action. Suppose I finish it. Is it possible to get an editor to upgrade it, marketing via you? Yeah, for sure. You can get an editor. And what does investment have to keep in mind regarding costs to take the last step? Depends on how well your book's written and who's going to do the editing. You can check out my sister's company, Hasmark Publishing. I recommend her my course material as well. So get the course, Bestseller Moneymakers, and I'll guide you through the whole process. You're going to get access to all the webinars right away, and you'll have access to our live classes. Thank you for your kind words, Danielle. Thank you. I appreciate it. Why is it wrong to want to make money? Who said it was wrong to want to? Allison says, why is it wrong to? It's definitely not wrong to want to make money. And you don't make money, you earn money. It's absolutely a wonderful thing. Earning money is one of the best things you can do for yourself because it allows you more freedom to create, allows you to serve the world. Is there a phone number I can call in? No, this is an online event, so you can submit your questions through the form, which you've already done. Oh, wonderful. Danielle says, I support your story. I started to tape my own script and listen to it every day since October this year. Yes, it really works to get the paradigms out. My life changed dramatically. Happy birthday. Thank you. Oh, awesome. Okay, so here's the thing. Trace has put the map, the bestseller map, on the Q&A page. You have to refresh if you want to see it. I'm just going to go there right now. And let me hit refresh. All right. If you're on the call right now and you're watching this, the bestseller map, the process map, is now available. Oops. There we go. On this page. There. Thank you, Trace. All right. Trace made it available for you guys. He's awesome. Okay. I'm going through all my emails here. In between the happy birthday messages, I'm finding all yours from my relatives and friends. Okay, great question, Keith. Over what period of time do you follow through on complete launch campaign? Not sure I understand your question completely, but if you're talking about how long does it take to launch your book, 3 months, 6 months, it depends. It depends on you. I suggest that if you're going for a New York Times, I teach that, by the way, in the class. If your desire is to get on the New York Times list, give yourself at least 6 months to plan and launch. And if your plan is to make your book an international bestseller, 3 months is probably plenty. Okay. All right. Okay, Kathy just asked the question about getting an editor. I just answered that like 5 minutes ago. Hopefully you heard my answer. Oh, Keith, yes, it's all being recorded, so you'll be able to catch the recording. All right, great. So this is from Helena. I'm from Sweden. I want to help teenagers believe in themselves and understand that they can do more or less everything they want. But young people today don't often read books. And what key aspect would you believe would be most attractive to this group of people? How should I market the book to reach that group? You're right. They're probably not out there buying books. You might want to write something for the parents to help their children with improving self-esteem, and create a program as well. So it's the parents that love their children more than anything. So you may want to create and write for the parents. All right, Julia says, hiya, Peggy, thank you for your webinar. How soon can I expect to see results? Okay, soon can I publish a book? Lots of ideas, but just need guidance to make it happen. How much additional money might I need to put your practice into teaching? Thank you. How soon is going to be up to you. I wrote a book in a weekend. I released it a few days later. I've worked with clients that have written a book and had it up and available for sale in 3 weeks. It's how fast you move. I'm giving you access to the entire program now so you can get into it right away. How much additional money? Depends. Depends on what you're spending money, like maybe a few $1,000s. I like to teach people how to spend the least amount of pop as possible to get the most results. Thank you, Martika. I appreciate your kind words. Okay, let's see. Okay, Ricky, I already answered your question. I did it earlier. You probably want to check the recording. Thank you, Eric. Yeah. Okay, Eric says, can you help me sell my hypnosis download for writers to get more energy and self-confidence? Absolutely. That's a great market. Yeah, you'll be connecting with all the other authors in the program too, so very likely get some new clients from that. Okay. All right, I'm getting emails here that are not questions, they're just comments, so thank you for those. Okay. Kara, I'm not sure if you're on the call, but if you are, I'll get back to you. Oh, good, Arto, thank you for sharing that. Okay, here's my idea. Broken home to immigrant, truck driver, president, CEO, and pilot. This is my personal story of coming to this country as a young boy immigrant with nothing, building the life from there to a level of success and retirement at age 40. Hoping this story would inspire and help others believe that it's possible. Went through a lot to achieve this. Amazing. Oh my God, people love that kind of story. Absolutely, you've got a great book idea. Totally, totally. Thank you, Pamela. Okay, Clara says, I had to miss part of this question session. Are the modules we receive ours to keep? Can we download them and use them over and over? Or is there a limited time? No, there's no limited time. You can use them forever and ever and ever. Amen. Thank you, Riki. Aw, thanks, Karen. I appreciate your kind words. Thanks for being here. I answered your question, I think, first. Okay, Sarah says, I'm from India. I'm planning to write a book on my personal life since college days. How do I finalize my book title? Do I think of it in the beginning or after finishing the book? Great question. Actually, I think the name is Sania. I'm sorry if I'm not saying it properly. You know what? Book titles sometimes come before you write the book. Sometimes they come during the writing of the book. Sometimes they come after. It really doesn't matter. You know, when you get to the point where you know you have a great book title and you're happy with it, and the book's ready to, you know, have the cover design, that's when you need the cover. That's it. Hey, Greg's on the call. Hi, Greg, nice to see you again. When is my next session? Don't have another one. We've been doing some freebie events in the last week. The classes are starting soon, and this one's being recorded. So you'll be able to refresh your screen. You'll be able to catch the recording. All right, I'm almost at the end of the questions here. I'm going to keep going. All right, Luke says, can you explain exactly what a foreword is and how it is beneficial to a new author? I have an idea what it is and would love to hear it in your words. Thank you, Luke. Okay, the foreword is just that. It's the words that are in the beginning of a book. And it's typically written by somebody who is not the author, but someone who the author considers to be instrumental or influential and could contribute to the sale of the book. My first book, I had the foreword written by Bob Proctor. The second book I wrote, I dedicated to Bob Proctor, and his wife, Linda, wrote the foreword for the book. And not every book has a foreword, but the foreword is usually written by somebody who can say some wonderful words about you, about your book, and can encourage people to read the book. It's not necessarily what the book is about, but it's their words, what they feel is the book is about and how they're going to benefit from reading the book. Allison says, okay. Okay, Allison, she says, you said that you do not do this to make money. Oh, I make money. I earn a lot of money. So I want to make money. I shouldn't do this. No, that's not the point. You misunderstood. I believe your priority for the work that you do should be to help others, to contribute, to serve, to give. That's where the priority should be. And absolutely, it should also be on earning money. We're not earning money, we'll quickly be out of business. You should be thinking about making money. Absolutely. So hopefully that helps you clarify. I'm just talking about priorities. Thank you for asking for clarification on that. Beautiful. Okay, thanks, MC. There wasn't a question there, so I didn't mention that. All right. Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate your kind words. All right. All right. Well, guys, I think I have gotten through every single question that I've been asked. So if you're listening to the recording, don't submit a question. It was for today live. I've answered all the questions that were asked. And frankly, there were a lot of questions that were similar. I suggest go back and listen to them again. If you're looking to create some great results, you must invest in yourself. I absolutely believe in my program. I know it works. I've been doing this a long time. But more importantly, I've been following it. I'm an author too. I have 12 books. They're in 37 languages, sold all over the world. I believe I'm here to serve you, to help you. I want you to create a great success with your books, programs, and help you create an abundance of resources, an abundance of income for you to help support you and your family. I've been doing this for a long time. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. Go over to bestsellermoneymakers.com. If you're on the call live right now, go over there, check it out. We've got some bonuses that are there that are available short period of time, and they're only available now. So get on there. They're not going to be available later. We're going to reward people who take action, because you know what? In life, we get rewarded when we take action. I know I've certainly been rewarded when I've taken action. So sorry about my throat. Did my best to get through it. And it has been absolutely my pleasure to serve you. Now, there's been a lot of different events that I've been doing the last week. And if you haven't watched the replays, watch them again. Go back, study the materials, and get enrolled in the program, because I want to help you be more successful. Okay, everyone, happy holidays. Appreciate all your kind comments and your birthday wishes as well. All right, everyone, you take care. Bye-bye for now.